I will no longer be reviewing any audio gear out of the consumer market anymore. And yes, that includes Mono, Fifine, and a bunch of companies that I had no idea existed before I did this video. And while part of this lies on the lap of some of the interactions I've had with the companies, really this is coming back to just how these videos are perceived and annoyingly, how people are just using these videos to confirm their crappy purchases. Also, we're going to have a tinfoil hat moment here as there's something fishy happening with those last Mono videos. I'll explain that in a bit, but I think I should explain my position first. Since I started this channel, I've rallied against a lot of the way the audio community is perceived by newcomers. This is a super intimidating sphere to get into, and a lot of douchebags who like to lord their intellect and skill set over others. But in the same breath, there are some amazing people who are not only brilliant, but also willing to mentor others. I put several of my peers into this group as the audio side of YouTube includes some truly exceptional people. Problem is, that former group tends to be the louder online and seem to often represent the community in the eyes of newcomers because of that. And that's what I wanted this channel to kind of combat. This channel has always been about protecting the buyer, like you, from making a mistake with your money due to either marketing BS or perhaps even the whispers of the aforementioned loud audio community. And it's because of that, I wanted to make space for companies that were making exceptionally cheap offerings for people needing to get their voice online. There is a market there. There is need. And perhaps in my own ignorance, I also missed that there's a ton of jostling for your pocketbook as well. Do not be fooled. There is a lot of money at stake here for just a few companies, and that market share is like gold. And judging by the way these companies are pumping out new products faster than I can change my underwear, the margins must be fantastic. And part of this also falls on the companies as well, like Mono. I have had pretty decent interactions with Fifine, and for the most part, I didn't have any issues with either company. Then I started working with them instead of just buying their products myself. It's a big help when you're reviewing gear to not have to buy it, especially gear that won't end up being used by me or anyone that I know. But then that arrangement made me feel kind of icky. It was my knee-jerk reaction to just say, nope, not going to do it anymore. I'm just buying the products from here on out. But then I came to a bit of a horrible realization. You see, at first I was actually rather heartened by the response of my audience when I did these videos. I wasn't judging these mics by harsh standards, but instead accepting them for what they were and celebrating how far some of these companies have come with their quality. Again, like I said in my most recent Mono video, the standards for these reviews were simple. Don't lie for market share and make sure the product works as advertised. That's a pretty low bar for a good review. And again, I thought viewers were all in on this. And then I released a critical video on a couple pieces of gear earlier. One was an overly touted interface that struggled to give you decent sound and featured a bunch of audible anomalies and was kind of useless in general otherwise. And then perhaps one of the worst mics I've ever reviewed on this channel, a review that included empirical data that showed the mic couldn't even properly operate as a microphone.
You may notice when I get in close like this, I'm not really talking all that loud, but I am distorted.
And this is the response. Now, I normally don't care about these numbers. Someone that is brutally honest like myself is bound to get some blowback. And I know that sometimes my opinions can be spicy and some people can feel attacked by them. Sure. But this just outed a bunch of people that were looking for confirmation bias. You see, I can understand the reactions to the G1 Neo video I did. While still pretty crappy, I can see people buying it. Sure, you say to yourself, whatever, it just works fine for whatever I need. Fine. But this?
You may notice when I get in close like this, I'm not really talking all that loud, but I am distorted.
And even with actual proof of malfunctions in a product, people react like this. And I have no interest in doing reviews for people just looking to justify their own bias or their own crappy purchases. But then there's another real issue stemming from this as well, but we need our tinfoil hats for this part. So then you might be saying, who cares, Aiden? Just show who's boss. And yeah, I kind of agree, but this is the kind of crap that makes people afraid to be honest in videos. You see, companies sometimes release crap. Even the best of companies sometimes swing and miss on a product. And companies know, or at least the good ones do, that it isn't personal when we have to give a bad product review. But here's where we might need that tinfoil. I look back on some of my critical reviews on the consumer mics and found a bit of a discrepancy. Maybe there's something a bit off here. Now, I'm not saying anything here, but either we have some really passionate Mono fans, or there might be some interest in burying these videos. Even my video on the Pyle and the Behringer only had 6 dislikes, which is more than I usually get on most videos, and those fans tend to be the most rabid. So what is it that causes this? Are we talking about some sort of weird interference? I should also point out, those dislikes only showed up about a week after the videos were released and after I'd already received several emails from Mono. To borrow a term from the last decade, that's a bit sus. Figured I'd go all in on 2016. Whatever the reason for this, though, I think I'm done with the consumer brands. I have no interest in producing content for viewers just to confirm their bias, nor am I in the game to produce content that is positive for the sake of being positive. So as your grandmother used to say, if you can't say nothing nice, don't release a video about the consumer products. We all thought your grandmother was crazy for saying that, but I think she had a point. Anyways, this frees up a lot of my time and a lot of my wallet for gear that may fit the bill for what you guys on this channel are actually here for and what I'm trying to do. Either you want to know about the cool new audio gear or you want to be entertained by niche and mildly funny grandmother jokes. Whichever it is, cheers. Thanks for watching.